Hi, it's Waylon again. Um, I'm actually recording this. I recorded this the last day of the Marxism 2015 event. I'm not going today because I never intended to. I don't like going to rallies or anything like that, especially enclosed ones, because it just sparks off my um, anxiety around people. Um, But I did decide to go back for the third day because the whole point of going to Marxism 2015 was it was supposed to be a learning experience to find out how the left think. I didn't realise how far left some of the people there would be. I thought they were going to be, sort of socialist, but some were actually as far along the left political spectrum as it was as far as you could go on it. Um, I, in some ways, regret going because I already had quite a poor view, not of the people, not of the aims, not of the objectives, but as I said in the last two parts of this, it was some of the language. It upsets me to think that some of the language they use is probably alienating some of the demographics, the people within the demographic groups that they need to go for to get a slightly larger following. And that's kind of, disappointing because I do agree with some of the, with quite a lot of the stuff they're trying to achieve. What I did come away with yesterday was quite a poor view of some of the practitioners. It's difficult to explain, really, without coming across like a complete bastard. But the reason I went back was because there was a particular question that I think needed answering. Something that part of the learning experience I didn't get was the left's view of human nature. I got a huge demonstration of it yesterday. I went to a lecture, talk, whatever you like to call it, called Is Human Nature a Barrier to Socialism? Now, I thought this would be quite a quick, my answer to that is yes, of course it is. Great, let's go off and have another discussion. What happened was and I hope she's not an academic, came up with such a biased view of what she called pre-class society, because she was saying, we've had human society for 150,000 years. For 140,000 of that, we had no class structure, and we were all living in hunter-gatherer tribes, and gave the impression that everyone lived happy, happy, clappy, hippie lives, and that there was no violence or war prior to the class structure, which of course is ridiculous. That it is ignoring the huge amount of anthropological and archaeological findings that there was murder, there was warfare between tribes, in tribes, and that the way she portrayed, class is the problem for everything, just shows the problem that the left is going to have if they keep trying to peddle the fact that it's only class. Actually, the problem is human nature as well. But being on the left, I suppose, that is there is a view of human nature that is much more positive than it really deserves. And that's a bit of a problem for me, because in a way I'm more right-wing in my view, that there does need to be, the right-wing kind of believe that you need a strong hand. And I believe that in some ways, because we are very driven by the human desire for competition. The point I would have made, and I did try to make, and one of the contributors actually came up and said about, yes, there was violence, and that, in her summing up, the academic, or whoever the speaker was, had to roll back and say, and I didn't mean that it was all happy clappy. But the point I was going to make was, even if her view of agrarian hunter-gatherer society was absolutely correct, that doesn't mean to say that human nature is that we're all, community minded. All it actually means is the groups were far enough apart and small enough that real human nature didn't have a chance to really show itself. And as larger conglomerations of humans came together, that's when you get the true human nature that you see now. I would like to have made that point, but human nature being as it is, I put my hand up well ahead of quite a few of the people who actually got to make their points. But people who put their hand up after me got chosen. And one bloke was actually standing right next to me, didn't get up until, I don't know, until after about 4 or 5 people had spoken, and he was very rocking back and forward on his feet, and basically pushed in into a position where he got heard and my point didn't. That's what both those things, the academic coming up with a very biased view, it wasn't she was putting across or trying to put across her opinion. She was trying to put it across as if it was reality. That's what I hate about it. If you're going to put an argument across, if it's not like the way I do, I pick the facts that which is biased, but I pick the facts that back up my opinion, which is fine. Everybody does that. Left wing, right wing, everybody picks the stuff that helps their case best. What she was trying to do was put a kind of academic reality to pre-class society, and it wasn't her opinion, although she did intersperse stuff with her opinion. She was trying to put it across as reality. and that is a real problem for me. Anyway, I'll quickly sum up the rest of the day. I did, however, bump into two people who did listen a little bit. And there was one guy from Cambridge, and in a way, I think because he listened, kind of understood where I was going about the language, how the demographics they should be going for are going to might be scared off by the language. He might go away and actually start that conversation within the movement. So that kind of made it a little better for me, the day. But I'm still concerned on their behalf that they'll never get the mass they want to make the change in society they want. And that's a shame. I'm not saying I could never be part of their war or their struggle, because I see myself as an observer and a commentator. I have no real investment in the future. I have no kids, and there is nothing that I've got nothing to fight for the future, because for me, the change is going to take so long that I'm going to be gone before the change is made. And I've got no future generation of my own family. So, everyone who has got children, they've got an investment in the future. I haven't got no interest, personal interest in the future. Doesn't mean to say I don't want to change things. It's just with the difficulties I have wanted being part of the group who are at Marxism's struggle, that their language that they use and everything, and the fact that I've got no personal investment in the future, it's not a struggle I could get a part of, even if I was of a mind to get involved. Bit of a shame. Yeah, it really is a bit of a shame. But hopefully there is that glimmer that the couple of people who did listen to what I had to say may take that back to their local groups and say, actually, he may have a point. I may be completely wrong, but I hope people think that I may have a point and that it may change the way that they try to recruit people. They may get more people. Who knows? Thanks for listening.